So in this class, we're going to past tense irregulars, the stem changing verbs, okay? As we saw, like in the present tense, the stem changing verbs are the ones that you remember change E to a E, O to UE. Well, those words in the present tense, but today we're gonna see the ones in the past tense, okay? So for those who are my students who work for me in the school, is the class is A1.2, class 2. Okay, so let's start. The vocabulary, I'm not gonna go through it right now. You can actually, you know how to do that by yourself by now, but the thing is I want to go over is the stem changing verbs. So one question I have for you. So in what do they, why they're irregulars, first of all? Because the stem changes, the root of the verb in infinitive change, right? In this case, does it change in every person or no? No, right? Just into like él, ella, usted, or ellos, ellas, ustedes, which is a third person is called. Third person singular and third person plural, right? So how does it change? In this case, it changes, can you see, O to you, O to you, right? Dur. So I will help you how to pronounce it now. Basically, the verbs that change it this way is dormir and morir. And I honestly want you to focus right now only in dormir, which is to sleep. No morir at this level, to die. I hope you're not talking about those topics. So, dormir. So, yo dormí, okay. Tú dormiste, él durmió, nosotros dormimos, y ellos durmieron, okay? So then we have here, I'm comparing it with the present tense, which is O to UE, right? Remember, in the present tense, but in the past tense, it's just changed in the third person, O to you. Okay, now let's move on with the next pattern that you had to tell me. Which is this pattern? How is it changing this time? Cambia means change. Cambia for this. So how is it changing? Yeah, can you see that it's E to I? Yeah, E to I, and again only in the third person. In the past tense, in the stem changing verbs is only in the third person, plural and singular. So mentir is to lie, but it's not one of the most important ones. I will show you one. They are marked in yellow, and I will show you in a second. But I will help you how to pronounce it. So mentir es yo mentí, tú mentiste, él, ella, usted mintió, nosotros mentimos, y ellos mintieron. Okay, so here are the ones that I talked to you about that are in yellow, because I really want you to focus in these ones, because this will help you in a conversation. So preferir is to prefer, and that's preferir. Yo preferí, tú preferiste, él prefirió, nosotros preferimos, ellos prefirieron. And you will say, how does it change? Because this change E to I, remember, like mentir. So, but how does it change it that way? So I will show to you. So because it might look Chinese for you right now. So Spanish, and so we're saying preferir, right? So preferir is to prefer, okay? Prefer. So which were the pronouns? So were yo, right? I, tú, él, right? Ella, usted, you formal, nosotros, we, ellos, they masculine, ellas, they feminine, and ustedes, you all, or you guys. So in this case, so prefer, except the IR, is the stem, okay? And this E, you see, is changing to I in the third person only, right? We're focusing only in the third person. Okay, so yo, you see this doesn't change. So yo prefer. And what is the ending of IR verbs in the past? Es preferí, preferiste, prefirió, preferimos, yeron. Okay, that's the ending. So this one, Very doesn't change except for in ellos, right? So in this case is okay, you see, prefirió. And this is ellos prefirieron, okay? So let's see with sugerir now. Sugerir means to suggest, okay? So I'm just gonna move these guys like in here, okay? Sugerir. Sugerir. Sugerir means to suggest. So yo this doesn't change, okay? Doesn't change. This changes. So IR again, so remember is I, right? I, iste, yo, imos, yeron. Okay. So ella, you see sugirió. It changes to I. Again, changes to I. Okay, let's do another ones, like the ones that I want you to focus the meaning also to elegir, pedir, and seguir. Mainly elegir and pedir. So pedir means to ask for. So elegir is to choose. So elegir, here, okay? So this doesn't change, yo to el, so it changes in ellos. So you see, I will keep it, no, keep it. So yo elegí, tú elegiste, él eligió, elegimos y eligieron. So you see, es eligió, eligieron. So elegir means to choose, okay? To choose or to pick. So then you have the verb pedir, which means to ask for, and I want you to focus on that one too, to ask for something, okay? So pedir is pedir, okay? Okay, again, you see how I form it. So yo, this doesn't change, yo, tú doesn't change, nosotros doesn't change, these ones, yes. So IR verb again, so I, iste, yo, imos, and yeron. So yo, él pidió, you see, changes I to I again. Pidió, pidieron, okay? You see, pidió and pidieron. So with regards to the I to I, just focus on that for now. We're gonna use it in a conversation. Then what's going on with this guy? You see, dar. Dar is the verb to give and ends in AR, but there's something particular. You see the ending? It's just it's the only one. That means to give is important, but ends in AR, can you see? But the ending is like an IR verb, okay? The stem doesn't change. The particularities has that the stem doesn't change, so it's a D, but then the, diste, right? Dio, dimos, and dieron. So it's the ending of an IR verb. So unfortunately, you had to study that one a little bit by heart. And it doesn't have anything, we are in the third person or nothing. It's just all like that. I would consider it like completely regular if you take that is, if you take in account, maybe because it changed the whole ending, and it's completely regular. Like this one, right? Like ser, which means to go, to be, sorry. And the conjugation of ser is yo fui, completely regular. You see, fuiste, fue, fuimos, fueron, okay? The particularity of this is the verb ir, which means to go. To go is conjugated the same way. So, yes, don't hate me. And this is like saying I went, you went, and this is saying I was, right? You were, he was. So basically, in order to use it for ser right now, use it for origin, profession, and identity, which mainly we will use it for maybe a profession, like yo fui estudiante, I was a student, because I am not anymore. But with the rest, it's a little bit harder because yo fui Argentina, I was Argentinian unless I'm dead, like I'm still are. So it's very hard to use it with this type of past tense. So I prefer you to use it more with IR right now, which means I went. It's much more useful. So for example, yo fui, if it's I went, right? Yo fui al parque. I went to the park. Al is a contraction of to the, okay? So it's AL. Al. Yo fui al parque. I went to the park, okay? So being said that, here I want you to now go and practice in a conversation but in context. So generally, yes, to my students, to you, I give you always like examples on how you can do this in context. So for homework, what I want you to do is like, okay, besides joining me with nouns, first of all, you have to know marcadores de tiempo. Marcadores de tiempo are literally like time markers or time, I don't know, delimita tiempo, like shows you time, a mark a time. So for example, in the past tense, which is important to know, is for example, ayer means yesterday. So I want you to study the main ones, right? Yesterday, anoche, last night, okay? Anoche. Then this is important, el fin de semana, the end of the weekend, the end of the week or weekend, pasado. So this means last weekend, or la semana pasada, which is last week, la semana pasada. So it's last week, okay? And then you have, what else that it would be important? If you think, oh yeah, yes. So hace is like means ago. So if you put hace 2 semanas, this means 2 weeks ago. So every time is an expression. So every time that you put the hace, that will mean like ago, whatever you put after. So 2 weeks ago. Obviously, if you put, for example, hace un mes, would be 1 month ago, right? Month ago. Okay, those are important too, like 2 months ago, a month. Okay, so being said that, so we come back here and I want you to practice with the most common verbs that I showed to you. You remember it was dormir, remember preferir, sugerir, pedir, dar. Okay, I didn't put elegir so much, but for now focus on the, for example, yo dormí, right, en mi cama ayer. I slept in my bed yesterday. Just give me, 5 examples of each, combining them with these guys, with ayer, yesterday, right? So for example, I will do it with, give you one example of each and also how to ask a question with it. So dormir, for example, yo dormí, right, con mi perro ayer, right? I slept with my dog yesterday. Él durmió, right, to practice. Él durmió, no sé, 8 horas ayer, sí, anoche, okay? You see, he slept 8 hours last night. I slept with my dog yesterday. So you see, these are all examples that you could do. But also I want to teach you how to ask questions. Well, let's finish first doing the sentences. So preferir, for example, él prefirió ir al cine, right? He preferred to go to the theater, okay? And or él prefirió, yo preferí café que té. I prefer coffee over tea. Then sugerir, for example, yo sugerí ir al cine. See, I suggested to go to the theater. And then another example could be we saw pedir, for example, to ask for or to order. I can say, yo pedí un café en el, no sé, bar, no, en el restaurante. So I asked for, but also it means I ordered a coffee in the restaurant. But also, yes, it means like order or to ask for. For example, él pidió, he asked for dinero, money, a su jefe, right? He asked for money to his boss. For money to his boss, for example. So, which is the other verb we saw? Dar. For example, yo di regalos, I gave presents, regalos, a mis sobrinos, to my nephews. So I gave presents. Oh, and sorry, I want to keep doing 1 year ago, let's say, hace un año. I want to keep you guys used to using this expression. So hace 2 meses, 2 months ago or something. And then él pidió dinero a su jefe la semana pasada, let's say last week, right? I want you to add in each sentence that you make and last week, last weekend, and then with fui, remember with ser, for example, no, with ir, for example, yo fui al trabajo ayer, right? Yesterday. I went to work yesterday. All these type of examples and the different variations, I show it in here. So you see, like, you can say, yo dormí en mi cama con mi gato 7 hours, él durmió, you see? And then you add with yesterday and so on. Then here you have the verb preferir, right? Él prefirió, you see, coffee than tea. He preferred the chocolate cake. He preferred to take a nap. But we use the verb in infinitive, can you see here? And you got, in English, you guys use sleep, the ing. We just use, I prefer to sleep, you know, a nap, or to take a nap, okay? That's just different from English. That's what I like to see these ones in context. Like sugerir, for example. So yo sugerí, right? Yo sugerí correr rápido. I suggested to run fast. O yo sugerí comer el postre, to eat dessert. And or él sugirió, remember, he suggested ir de compras, to go shopping. You see all these combinations I want you to use, but also with yesterday or la semana pasada, last week. You see pedir, yo pedí what you can ask for, you see. Yo pedí un helado, like this, more like a order, ice cream. O yo pedí leer el texto. Yo pedí dinero, what else you can ask. Yo pedí una semana de plazo means I asked for 1 more week for the deadline. So to finish, I don't know, your work or project. So then dar is yo di, right? Dinero, un consejo is advice. So it's very useful to learn the nouns related to these verbs, because then I put you some examples. I wrote here some examples of the prepositions that it can go with. So just to have an idea on how to make those sentences. Then here you have other examples of, for example, fui. You see, yo fui al cine. This is went, obviously, right? Tu fuiste a correr. He went to run. Fui a la pileta. Wherever you can go, right? And here I put maybe some examples with the fui of ser, which is he was kind to his neighbor, amable, friendly, right? Él fue un estudiante. He was a happy child, so he's not anymore. So careful you using this fui, because whatever you use, then it's not happening anymore. So mesera is fine, you see. Fui una mesera, I was a waitress. But then we use another kind of past tense. So mainly focus right now on examples of professions that you wear. Then we'll teach you how to use it with other examples. But for now, this is it. So, but you need to know how to ask questions too, okay? So the idea will be, I'm putting here like examples to practice, like durmió, right? So él durmió. You see what I do this. To, I don't know, pediste, no, tú fuiste, you went, él durmió, él pidió, right, to ask for, and then we saw also tú sugeriste, I don't know, you suggested, que él prefirió. Okay, so do you remember we have que, which means what, cuando, when, right, when, como, how, right, donde, which is where, right, and then why, por qué, and why, and then we have, remember, who, so, which is, sorry, who is quién. Okay, you can combine these with all the verbs that we saw today in the past, and then I want you to do actually that to practice how to use this. And also here, and I can add another one, durmió, what else we saw? Fuiste, pidió, and that's important, preferiste, sugeriste, dar, I forgot. So, tú diste, okay? So you see, for example, I can use one example like this. So, por ejemplo, que, right? Que, tú, diste means you gave, and a tu, no sé, que tú diste a tu novio, your boyfriend, para su cumpleaños, okay? So, o para Navidad, let's say. So basically, you see, it's one type of combination that you could do. You see, que diste a tu novio, que tú diste, right? You don't have to put tu, but to practice, maybe leave it. So, que diste a tu novio para Navidad, okay? That's one example, could be. Let's mix other one. Por ejemplo, cuando, let's say I know fuiste, cuando tú fuiste a México. Let's say I know you went to Mexico. ¿Cuándo fuiste a México? You see, we don't need to use the did you or whatever. We just say when you went to Mexico, right? ¿Cuándo fuiste a Mexico? That's the way that we can combine. You see, I want you to do this as an example, please. So, por ejemplo, ¿cómo él durmió ayer, right? How did he sleep yesterday? How he slept yesterday? Because we don't use the did it, remember? We just say it straightforward. ¿Cómo, sorry, él durmió ayer? How he slept yesterday? How, the literal translation is how he slept yesterday, but it's how did he sleep yesterday? You see all the combinations. ¿Dónde prefirió ir? Where did he prefer to go? ¿Por qué él pidió dinero? Why did he ask for money? You see, ¿quién sugirió? Because it has to be in the third person with quién. ¿Quién sugirió? Who suggested the movie? ¿Quién sugirió la película? You see, and this is the nouns and marcadores de tiempo that I call marcadores de tiempo that I want you to know because they are very key to form and to speak it. Okay, so what I was saying, ¿quién sugirió? Just changing in color so you can join them. ¿Quién sugirió la película? Oops. ¿Quién sugirió la película, right? ¿Quién sugirió la película? Who suggested the movie? So can you do that for each verb, please? Also, do at least 5 or 10 for your classmate or language partner, especially your language partner next time. And also when you find your language partner, which is someone you exchange English for Spanish, and remember we have our events once a week or different places in Chicago that you can go and or in your city to practice these questions. To practice, you see here, so past tense, I did some pre-made samples, what I'm looking for with you asking questions. For example, ¿a qué hora dormiste ayer? What time did you go to bed tomorrow? ¿A qué horas? At what time? Then, ¿preferiste estar en casa? Did you prefer to be at home or go out on the weekend? So an affirmation, probably in other classes I explained to you, could be a question too. Por ejemplo, let's say I know he slept well yesterday. So él durmió bien ayer. So I'm doing an affirmation, okay? He slept well yesterday, okay? But in Spanish, if I do an inflection, like then it changes to be a question. So for example, él durmió bien ayer. You see, I'm just changing the way to pronouncing, and I can. Is he slept well yesterday? You know, in English you have to change it, right? Did he sleep well yesterday? Thus we have the double question mark. Sorry, I couldn't put it here because I don't have my keyword in Spanish. I don't want to waste time, but you see we put the double question mark because that's the way we know that is a question. Okay, so being said this, so please, I need you to then what you have for homework. You have to practice, do the sentences to practice. Él durmió bien ayer. He slept well yesterday. So you can practice the conjugation, and the more you repeat it orally, the more you remember. And then the other thing, also ask the questions, like those examples that I just showed you, and then you can practice with a language partner to do it. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video for the completely irregular verbs, the rest of them. Okay, thank you.